Alright, hey, good morning. So I've been asked several times to share some of my recipes and how I do things for a lot of my friends and people I know on meals, especially because I do cook allergen friendly. So I created this recipe pretty much in my head with a mishmash of a couple of recipes that I have, and we're going to try it out for the first time today because I've actually never made this. So first thing is we're actually making a pancake batter. We're going to start off with 3 3/4 cup of flour. So I use gluten-free flour because I have celiac disease. So now the trick with flour, I've got my flour jar here, is to scoop, keep your mountain, and I use this to chop through. With gluten-free flour, the starches kind of stick together and make air pockets, and we do not want air pockets because then we don't have even measurements. And then just scrape the top off so it's nice and flat. So that's 1 cup. 2. I forgot to grab my 1/4 cup. 3. I tried to be nice and prepared, but and then you have these. And the same thing, it doesn't matter that it's little, you still want to chop. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I've got 3 3/4 cup of gluten-free flour. And I'm going to mix that up because flour gets clumps. Now you can sift it too. But this is my extra manual sifting. I don't do a lot of sifting. Probably should, but I don't. Alright, now we've got 6 teaspoons of baking powder. Yes, that is a lot of baking powder. The trick with baking powder is not to forget about this lip. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, running low, 5, and 6. 2 teaspoons of salt, which I forgot to put up here. Which is empty. Pack of salt. One and 2. 2 tablespoons of sugar. I've also got, along with all of these ingredients, a little pocket maker, which is not heating up because it heats up very, very quickly, so I want to wait to heat it up. I'm going to stir that all happy. Okay, now you need 3 1/2 cups of warm milk. And yes, it needs to be warm, so I've got 3 1/2 cups in here. I'm going to microwave it. If you're using cow's milk, make sure you do 30 seconds at a time and mix it in between. If you're using, say, almond milk or coconut milk, I'm not entirely sure about soy milk, then you probably don't need to mix it quite as frequently. It doesn't scald like cow milk does. Alright, I actually do not use eggs in my pancake mix, so it's already egg-free for those with an egg allergy. 6 tablespoons, maybe this. We're going to do 6 tablespoons of oil, and it's really any oil that you'd like. It can be coconut oil. I like olive oil. I'm not sure what that was. Excuse me. I don't use soybean oil. I avoid soy. 1, 2, I'm sure I can convert this into cups, but I just don't. I have no idea why. Now you may be thinking with olive oil, I use extra virgin olive oil, maybe it gives it a funny taste. Actually, it does not. So you want to stir it so that it's not overheating in certain spots. And then I just fill the outside of the glass to know if it's done. Okay, we're just pouring the oil directly in the middle of our bowl here. You can, to enhance flavor, add about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, completely optional. And I'm going to add that in there because I think what we're making is going to be great. Milk does not want to heat up today. It's warm-ish, but you want it above room temperature. Okay, that's everything. Now we add the milk and then we mix, and it's happy as can be. And that's it for the pancake mix, except on how to stir it. Got a couple of other things here that I'm doing. Starting with this guy. I guess this would be easier. Let's do this one next. We're actually going to make a cinnamon and sugar topping. Almost. One more time. It's a dry cinnamon and sugar topping. You really don't have to have specific measurements, but I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's see, let's do a half a cup. And 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and we'll see if this is enough cinnamon. I like mine a little heavy. Now it is warm. We're going to pour it right in the middle. And mix. At first it'll look really, really runny. As you add the flour in, it'll start to thicken. You want to make sure you mix enough that you're removing the clumps. But don't overmix or your pancake batter will be weird. So if you have the option of a couple of extra clumps, see, now it's nice and thick. This will give you a really fluffy pancake mix, by the way. If you have an option between an extra few clumps and overmixed pancake mix, definitely go for the extra clumps. Whisks are best rinsed off immediately. Alright, now if you like a runnier pancake mix, one that's easier to use and will get a less fluffy pancake, you can add some more warm milk. Try to start with that in the beginning. You can add up to an extra half a cup. Alright, now let's stir this. I almost threw my whisk right on the counter. Okay, so my cinnamon's a little clumpy for some reason. But that looks pretty good to me. Now we're going to make our filling. Okay, so we're going to take some cream cheese. I've got 2 blocks of cream cheese. Now, for dairy-free, because already this is dairy-free, as you can tell. For dairy-free, just use any cream cheese that you normally would use. I'm going to open this up real quick and pause the video just for a sec so you get a jump through. We're going to warm this up. It's supposed to be room temperature, and I refrigerated it. Okay guys, so I've got it heated up in the microwave just enough that it's soft. So you can kind of see some lumps in here. Those are the areas that aren't quite as warm, and that's because we don't want to cook the cheese. Otherwise it'll become very sour. So like I said, you can use any cream cheese. I did forget to mention, I accidentally oopsed, this is not currently dairy-free, but it absolutely can be. Normally I make it dairy-free. Again, you can see how thick that is. Dairy milk absolutely will make your pancake batter a lot thicker than coconut milk or almond milk. Normally I use almond milk. Today I'm using lactose-free. Alright, so I've got this nice and happy and whipped. We're going to go ahead and add in, let's see here, 2 tablespoons of sugar is what it says. But we are making it a little bit more dessert-like. So we are going to do 1/4 cup of sugar. Come on. There we go. I don't remember if I said out loud or if I expected you guys to be mind readers on what exactly we're baking today. Making. Guess we're not baking. It doesn't go in the oven. Did I say what it was?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. So just in case, it's a fruit cheesecake filled pancake. Okay. I don't have one of those buttons so I can go, ooh, ah.
Someday.
Okay, now you'll want to add a little bit of lemon juice because it really makes the cheesecake filling delicious, except I don't have any because I use a lot of it for the pancakes. But what I do have is a lime. So really it's making sure that you do a citrus. I'm going to take this half a lime. I'm going to squish it with my squisher. I need to be taller. Okay, found it. And I'm just going to put it right in. Half a lime, that's all you need. And actually, since I'm going to be doing a raspberry filling, for a certain somebody I know who's anaphylactic to strawberries, a half a lime will be perfect. Lime and raspberry go together very nicely. Okay, got my cheat sheet here that I'm working with. Ah, that's what I did. Yeah. We're actually going to go ahead and, let's see here. We got to double that sugar. So, scratch that. Not 1/4 cup. I read the wrong line. See how wonderfully prepared I am? But this is why I'm doing it on this Sunday. Oops. If you go a little overboard, it's extra sweet. Sundays are sleepy days. I'm tired. And Sunday morning is when I make a big deal about making an awesome breakfast for my kids. And they know that. They know every Sunday morning after church, they get to come home to something amazing. The other days, we usually have things like cereal. Don't judge. I'm busy mom. Okay. Got my raspberry jam. It is unfortunately not homemade. You can use vanilla. You can add vanilla. I'm gonna pretend my speech didn't die. But it's not super necessary. You can go with egg or without egg. I'm actually going to go ahead and add egg. The egg will make it a little bit more creamy and fluffy. But you don't have to add it. Again, allergies. I think my favorite thing about this pancake mix, actually, when there are no eggs. I have tried the recipe with eggs and without eggs. And there's no difference for me. I literally can't tell the difference. So let's beat in those eggs. 2 eggs. Didn't clarify how many eggs, I just assumed you pay attention. I've actually seen a few recipe videos where they do that. They won't tell you the amounts, they just throw it in, what it is, and you have to guess. I find those to be very difficult. Now, because I added egg, you can see, it's a lot more liquidy, so you'll have to be more careful. We're gonna add in, honestly, as much jam as you like, honestly. How flavored do you want this to be? 1 heaping tablespoon. And a regular tablespoon. Mmm. That's pretty good. Okay. It's like a donut filling. Just, I guess, kind of what this is. All right. That's done. We're ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug this in to heat up. I've got my cinnamon sugar, got my filling, got my pancake mix, which is super gloppy. You can see the holes. That's the activated, that's the baking powder reacting to the milk. The warmth of the milk. All right, because while you're waiting for a minute or two, it's important to clean up. That is exactly what I'm going to do. If I didn't, I think I would go insane. And best part, while I'm waiting, I have time to make coffee. I do already have water in my kettle, but I did not turn it on. Okay, so pause for a minute, but for you, it's probably a blink of an eye. Have my area all cleaned up. I've got my new work tools ready to go. I cannot find my little brush, so we're going to use paper towel. Now, I do suggest sampling your cheesecake filling before using it to make sure that you have a good ratio of jam, exactly the way you want it. I like mine more tart on the raspberry front, but I didn't make my own jam today. I bought store-bought jam. So I think it'll taste great. But one thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you wash your eggs. Before using them, just use a little thing of soap, rub around in some water real good, and rinse it off, obviously, because we don't want to eat soap. That kills all the E. coli. The E. coli is actually located on the shell. So there's no real concern of eating raw eggs as long as you wash the shell. In the meantime, I was able to also make coffee, because that's great. And I promised my older son that every time I would make coffee, I would make him tea. So he's got his tea brewing. And when it is time to pick them up, we're all good to go. Okay, I did go ahead and add an extra half a cup of milk to my batter. It's a little on the overmixed side now. That's what happens when you add water or add liquid afterwards. Okay, ready? We're gonna open this guy up. Now I'm gonna coat the inside. You don't have to. This is non-stick, so there's no real reason to coat it, except we wanted to do something awesome afterwards. And in order to do that, you want that little bit of oil on the outside. I just bought this guy. I've already used it multiple times because it just makes things quick and easy. So go ahead and pour your batter in there. You do want to try to go fast. You can hear it sizzling. I'm probably putting in a little bit too much. This is a sausage maker. I wanted to be able to make little pocket sandwiches and things like that for the kids. And I couldn't do that with the little tiny sandwich makers because they just don't hold enough filling. Okay, so I'm going to use the middle of a spoon actually to kind of try to make a little bit of a divot. I'll push it off to the side. We're going to go another paper towel for this because if I drop this in that bowl, it's just going to fall. All right, now we're going to add this awesomeness here. And you're just going to try to pour it in the middle. I'm probably just going to make a horrific mess. I put in way too much batter. And yeah, absolutely making a mess. That's okay. You know what? We're going to make a bigger mess and we'll see how it tastes. Because that's what really counts. How does this taste? That spoon's going to fall into. All right, now you're going to put another layer over top. And I am really glopping on this on thick. This is where I kind of connect the pieces together. Oops. We're gonna close that and cook it. Now it's gonna take about 10 minutes to cook, so we're gonna go ahead and pause the video real quick so that as soon as I'm done, after 10 minutes, you didn't have to watch me stand here for 10 minutes and stare at you. 7 minutes left. Countdown is still going. So I did it for 10 minutes, right? Right. Oh, sorry. Hey, okay, so 10 minutes, right? But always make sure you double check. Never trust a light source on these things. Always check to see if it's done. It's been 6 minutes, as you can see from my timer. I still have 4 with that. But they look pretty done, so let's take a peek. Aren't they adorable? Okay. Let's pull this guy out. He looks fluffy. Very fluffy. Okay. Very. Yes. All right. Okay, so I've got some trimmed off. We're going to go ahead and cut one open to see how done it really is, okay? I do not want to pick that up with my hand. So, I definitely feel like I need more filling, but they do seem fairly done. I'm going to have my taste tester test it quick. Look at that little piece here. So cute! I'm going to taste it and see if it needs another minute or two. I'm also going to go ahead and refill, but I'm going to do it differently so I use half the amount of batter on the bottom so I can really get some good filling. Pause. Okay, so it definitely needs 2 more minutes. So we're setting the next one for 8 minutes. I've used less of the pancake batter on the bottom so I could fit a lot more filling in. When you're done, you just take, I'm going to trim off some of this extra here. Okay, because you don't need all the crumbs. And you're going to drop it in your cinnamon and sugar, but you really need to do it while it's hot. Okay, and you're kind of smashing that in there like a lot of cinnamon and sugar. And there you go. And I do have to say, you can even grab little bits here, top a little piece, dip it in, it's still pretty hot. It absolutely tastes like a donut. It's delicious. I burned my tongue. I can't wait to taste this next batch. Like I said, it's a new invention. Something I just woke up this morning and thought, today I'm making this. So if you're watching this, maybe you'll wake up tomorrow morning and say, today I'm making this. I don't think you'll regret it. Let's give this extra 6 minutes. And we'll go ahead and try that again and see how much that filling is in there. Check that final result, huh? You can also put your batter down, fill it with filling. Go ahead and close it and cook, do like a pre-cook for about 2 or 3 minutes to kind of make sure it's real set. Then go ahead and put another layer of, I don't know, I might actually try that and see how that works. Fidget around a little bit, see what works best. Everybody has different machines, everybody has different, the batter won't be the same every time. See what works. Okay, guys, I've got 8 seconds left. I'm going to turn off the timer so it's not beeping in our ears. And I did think of some new modifications that I think would work out very nicely. We've rolled it around in the cinnamon. As you can see, even the way that it was is delicious. I am not afraid to post mistakes. I wouldn't call this a mistake. But if I bomb a recipe, you still get to watch. Granted, this is my first video, but still. Alright, we're going to pop this up. And then I'm going to give you some ideas soon. Yes, it's fine. That happens. Look at that. It's making noises at me. Oh, oh, oh. Now, I did extra cream cheese filling in this one, so I don't know if it needs an extra minute or so. It kind of looks like it does. Now, this has that little bit of pre-bake I was telling you about. You can see it's a little bit stretchy. But I know my kids will eat it anyway, so we're going to go ahead and pull it. That's right. You seem soft. Okay, well, we'll see how this looks. So, One great way I think would work better is if you make the cream cheese the night before. Go over there. Make that cheesecake filling the night before. Pre-bake it. Freeze it. The next morning when you're making these, chop it up. You can put those in the middle. That'll work out a lot better because the fluff will come around it with the pancake mix a lot easier because it won't be as runny. Another option is to do kind of a slow heat, just enough that it kind of thickens. Bake these, scoop out the middle, and just squirt that stuff right in there, and then it is ready to eat. Use a little piping bag or even a plastic lunch bag. Okay, we're gonna cut this open. Either way, I think both of those will work nicely. It has a lot more filling. Forgot to use the tongs. And it's split, so I can take a peek inside. You can see the little fillings kind of, you can see all the purple. So I definitely like the idea of freezing the cheesecake first or piping it into the little donuts after they're done. I think that will taste really, really good and will elevate it where we're trying to go with this recipe. So with everything, it includes experimentation, lots of snacking, and doing it again. Don't give up. That's it. End of video.